are watching
Ask the Instructor every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor. Hey, welcome to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. I'm John Chrismo, and every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time, we come to you, into your computers, into your phones, into your tablets, into all of your little devices to help you understand the real estate industry. And we're really talking about a topic that, if you're new to the real estate industry, you're definitely going to want to understand. And what we're talking about today is, what's it like to have a career in real estate? That's a terrible question mark. So what is it like to have a career in real estate? And this is a question we get a lot from a lot of our even potential students and students that are actually enrolled in the course. You know, they go through this course and they learn all about the real estate industry, and they do get a little bit of an idea, but maybe early on, or maybe if you're thinking about a career in real estate and you're just wondering, I mean, what is it like? You maybe have heard some things from some friends or family members, or you know, maybe have talked to somebody who's a real estate agent and asked them what it's about. So that's what we're going to be doing here today on the show, is we're going to be demystifying what it's like to have a career in real estate. You know, what are some of the potentials? What are some of the things you're going to have to keep in mind in order to have a successful career in real estate? Is it possible to just work part-time with a career in real estate? You know, maybe just use this to supplement your current source of income, maybe something extra you want to do. Is that really possible? Is that something you could do? Or is it something you have to jump in and dive into full-time? I'll give you a hint here. There's a lot of flexibility with this. So I've got a lot of things that I want to talk about and tell you guys today. And if you guys do have questions, again, this is a live show. So if you've got questions about a career in real estate, maybe something in more particular, feel free to put that in the comments. I've got them loaded up on here. Whether you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, I got both the comment streams loaded up right here, so you can go ahead and send in your questions or just whatever it is that you like about the show. And also make sure you're liking, subscribing, and if you got a friend or family member that's thinking about starting a career in real estate, show them this video and let them know what we're here to talk about today. So we're talking about what's it like to have a career in real estate. So let's probably talk about the first question that gets asked the most. This is probably the most often question, because unless you're just doing this because you really like houses and you think it's fun, or maybe you think it would be fun, it is fun. But most people are probably doing this not only for the enjoyment of the actual work that you're doing, but also for the income. So that's one of the big questions. What's the income like? Am I going to get my license and automatically be earning $1 million a year? Or, you know, am I not going to get paid for years? Or, you know, what is the middle ground of what it really is like? Because, again, I'm sure you've heard stories either which way about this. Got a question coming in here from Ronald Castor on Facebook. And again, if you guys have questions, put them in the comments. He's asking about how long and how much is the course. So if you're in Florida, Ronald, or you're looking to get your Florida real estate license, because you don't even have to be in Florida to get a Florida license. We actually have students that have taken our classes all over the world, including China, like literally the opposite side of the world. We've had people logged into our online courses getting their Florida real estate license with that. So the course, that's a good question. Getting your real estate license, it's overall not that difficult, really. You're going to do a course, and that can be done as quickly as 2 weeks if you're going to do that in one of our daytime classes, or we have evening classes that are structured to benefit people that have some sort of job or anything during the day that they can't get away from, and that takes maybe about 2 months. But you could also do it with our online course, and that's completely self-paced. So I mean, really in as little as 2 weeks, you can be completed with the course. So it's really not that long at all of a course requirement, and that will teach you everything you need to pass the exam, as well as a lot of information about a career in real estate. And you can check out all the pricing on our website, tampaschool.com. The classroom course currently $289, online course currently $249, includes your textbook, online version of that when you're doing it with the online course, and everything you need to complete the course in there. So definitely check that out. That's at tampaschool.com. You can actually get our step-by-step guide. If you guys are thinking about a career in real estate, go to tampaschool.com, click how to get licensed. license, and you can get our step-by-step guide right there that's going to tell you everything. We've even got a little short video that breaks it down on how to get your real estate license. So that's definitely an important topic to know, is about how to get your real estate license. Now, going back to the income question of this here in real estate, what is it going to be like? So there's a couple different routes you could potentially go. And if you're looking for this whole kind of maybe salary type of income, or you're looking for more of a brokerage. So this isn't why most people get into the real estate space, but if you are looking for some sort of salary type of position where rather than just being 100% commission, that's where I would highly suggest looking into working under a developer. Now with the developers, since they are paying you either by the hour or with a salary or something like that, plus the commission when you have a real estate license, they're looking for individuals that do have some sales experience. You might be able to get in there without sales experience, depending on how good you are at interviewing and so on and so forth, but that's going to be traditionally a little bit more kind of almost like a job, more like a career rather than running a business, which is more what you're doing when you're actually working in a brokerage. But there's some other situations. The developer, these are like the home builders, the ones that are building brand new homes, the model home subdivisions. They need a sales staff to run those typically. So that's where you could typically work to get a salary plus a commission on top of that. So that's definitely something you'd want to check out if you're thinking about, maybe working for somewhere where you can have a salary and learn kind of the business while not having to rely solely on commission. But now this typically isn't the route that most agents go. We're going to talk about some of the other routes as well, because this is just one of the routes. You could go into property management, you could go into commercial, you could go into investment properties. There's so much diversity with the real estate license of what it allows you to do. But let's now talk about the traditional path. The traditional path, and this is where most real estate licensees go down, is working under a broker. Working under a broker in order to sell anyone's house. Because of the developer, you are a little bit limited because you're only able to sell the developer's properties. Now, underneath a broker, now we get the question all the time as well, can I just go out and get my broker license? You can if you have 2 years experience within the last 5 years of a sales associate working under a broker, whether that's in Florida or another state. So even if you're coming from another state, and you've got experience working in the real estate industry as a sales associate or whatever the equivalent is in that state, or as a broker even, as long as you've got at least 2 years of active experience in the last 5 years, you could jump right into the broker position. But if you're new to real estate, you're probably not going to be able to jump right in there because you probably don't have the experience necessary, which is fine. And not only is this a legal requirement, they make this part of the law. So there's almost like a built-in legal apprenticeship. And what the Florida Real Estate Commission and the laws of Florida are most concerned with is that you're not going to defraud individuals or do things that are illegal or do things that'll lose people money and so on and so forth. But what's also kind of this built-in apprenticeship that you have in the real estate industry is you actually get to learn, what it takes to actually go out there. When you're with a broker, this is somebody that has already at the minimum of 2 years experience, and most people that are even eligible to get a broker license don't go out and open a brokerage altogether. Now, one of the reasons why a lot of people get into a career in real estate is they're looking at this and they're thinking, I don't like working for the boss I'm working for. I don't like him to be at a certain place at a certain time. And, I want flexibility. I heard that flexibility was one of the things with a career in real estate. And that's absolutely true. So you are required to register your license with a broker. And you might have heard people say before that you have to work for a broker, but it's really not like you're working for a broker. This isn't like a traditional type of job where you're literally working for the broker. This is going to be where you're essentially what's called an independent contractor. So the sales associate, that'd be where your real estate career would start as a sales associate. So as a sales associate, this is where you start as with a real estate career, and with this, you're an independent contractor typically. There are a few exceptions to this rule, but really not many at all. Typically, that you're going to be, and let's write that so you guys could actually read this here, an independent contractor. So what that means, when you get paid for doing a real estate service, and that's when you get paid for doing a real estate service when you're working as a sales associate under a broker, unless you maybe have some agreement with them where you're going to be an administrative assistant or something like that, where they'll also pay you hourly or something along those lines. just traditionally with your real estate license, all you're required to do is register that with a broker. You are required to be registered with a broker, again, to make sure you don't violate any laws and also to make sure you learn about the real estate industry and what it's like working with clients. So we actually are starting a new class that's going to be included with all of our courses. It's going to be an online component that's available with our classroom and online courses about how to choose a broker. If any of you guys watching this are one of our past students, check your email, because as soon as we launch that, we're going to send it out to you guys completely free of charge for all of our past students, and any of our new students signing up for classes are going to automatically get access to that course on the first day. It's about how to choose a real estate broker. So with this, it's almost like the tables are turned. The brokers aren't really interviewing you, you're interviewing the brokers. The reason why is the way the broker makes money is either by selling real estate themselves or employing sales associates to sell real estate on their behalf. And typically with this, there's some sort of commission split where the broker gets so much money and the sales associate gets so much money. And this could vary anywhere to where the sales associate gets almost all the money to where the broker gets a lot of the money. And that's why we're really starting this class, so you can help kind of demystify this whole kind of commission splits and what type of broker you want to work for and so on and so forth. So again, if you guys are any of our past students, make sure you check your email within the next, probably the next couple of weeks or so. We're going to have that course sent out to you where you'll be able to log in and check that out. Or if you're signing up for one of our classes, you're going to get that on the first day. So definitely check that out. But again, so you're interviewing the brokers, and there's all these different types of arrangements. But when you get paid, whether that's 50% of the commission or 80% of the commission or 90% of the commission or 100% of the commission, whatever it is that you have as your agreement with your broker, you get paid as an independent contractor, which means you're going to get a Form 1099 at the end of the year. So this Form 1099, this is going to be basically in lieu of what is, I think it's called a W-2. You can tell how long it's been since I've done anything that's not as an independent contractor. And I'm also not an accountant. But the 1099 is going to be when you're an independent contractor. This shows the money you earned as an independent contractor. Now what that means is you get all this money without any taxes withdrawn from it. Which a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I get this tax-free money. No, it's not quite the case. It's not tax-free money. You do have an obligation to pay taxes on this during the next tax year, but there's a lot of benefits to this type of situation here. Being an independent contractor, as long as you structure your business accordingly, you're going to be able to get a lot of deductions, even more deductions than you'd get as a quote-unquote self-employed type of person, which you could file as a self-employed person, or you could file as a corporation, even as a sales associate working under a broker. So basically, it's like you're a business. This is your business here within a business, within the business of the broker. The broker has the business of basically bringing in sales associates, and the sales associates have their business of actually selling the houses. Again, you're doing this on behalf of the broker, the way the laws work and so on and so forth, but you do have a lot of control. It's not going to be where the broker says, hey, you need to be here at 9 a.m. and you're going to work until 12 and you're not getting paid for that time you're here. No, you're an independent contractor, so you're the one that's basically in control of how the work gets done. Now, there are rules and regulations that have to be followed by, that are your broker's rules, as well as the Florida Real Estate Commission's rules, but ultimately it does allow you to have flexibility of when you're going to meet with clients, when you're scheduling appointments, when you're making phone calls, when you're searching the MLS, and that's what makes the real estate industry very flexible, where you could definitely get into something like this part-time. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk more about this. We're going to talk about the income aspect of that and understand that a little bit more, so you can kind of plan for what it is that you're getting yourself into with a career in real estate. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor. Send in your comments during the commercials and don't go anywhere. Have you been thinking about starting a career in real estate? Enjoy an entrepreneurial lifestyle that allows for schedule flexibility with unlimited income potential. In real estate, the sky is the limit, and what you put in is what you get out. Learn more about a career in real estate at tampaschool.com. Do you wish you could make your own schedule? A career in real estate allows for unimaginable schedule flexibility. Whether you're just looking to make some extra cash in your spare time or become the next top real estate agent, a career in real estate allows you to call the shots. Find out more about a career in real estate at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com. Does your current career allow for unlimited income potential? With a career in real estate, the sky is the limit. What you put in is what you get out. Find out more about how you can tap into the unlimited income potential of a career in real estate at tampaschool.com. Hey, if you liked the show today, be sure to hit like and subscribe and post your comments. Thanks so much for watching.
You are watching
Ask the Instructor every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor. We're live. Hey! Yes, we are live back on Ask the Instructor every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time. We come to you to help demystify the technical side of the real estate industry. And when you're new to the real estate industry, when you haven't had a career in real estate before, or maybe you've invested in real estate and you're thinking about getting licensed now, there's a lot of activity going on in the marketplace. And Tampa was actually just ranked as the #1 healthiest housing market in the entire country, which really says a lot for, is this a good time to start a career in real estate? Being the healthiest housing market in the country, being the healthiest means is if there's an up or down, a price correction, we're going to be a very stable market, very much unlike what we had 10, 12 years ago, back when we had this last kind of massive crash and fallout of the real estate industry. Being the healthiest market says we're going to be the least affected when we have the market kind of change like that. But going back to the topic we're talking about today is, as a sales associate working under a broker, what is that like? Well, how does that relate to the actual income that can be earned with a career in real estate? So, like I said, you're going to be paid as an independent contractor, and that might kind of break down to, anywhere from, and this could definitely vary greatly, from anywhere you're getting 25% of the commission all the way up to you're getting 100% of the commission. So, whenever you sell a property is when you get paid based on this structure that you have with your broker. And like I said, we have that new course that's coming out that's going to be included for free with all of our classroom and online courses about how to choose a broker. So definitely check back for more information on that. If you're already a student with us, watch your emails for that. But anyways, where you find yourself here between either on the low end where you're not getting very much commission or you're getting almost all the commission, really the key thing that breaks this down is in this type of arrangement, you're pretty much on your own. You have a broker there for the legal capacity, but that's pretty much it. And typically, it's not going to be a 25%. That's a really extreme type of scenario. And really 100%. There's a lot of that out there. But as a new agent, you would want to shoot for anywhere from 50% to maybe like a 80. We'll say about 80% there, because with this, and you might say, well, why wouldn't I just want all of the commission? Why wouldn't I just want 100% of the commission if that's a possibility and if that's available? It is. You do have to pay certain fees for that because the broker is making some money some way, but it can be a very advantageous position if you know what you're doing. If you only need a broker there for the legal aspects of having a broker, that's where I definitely recommend, maybe look into a 100% situation like that, but especially when you're starting a career in real estate, when you're new to the real estate industry, not only do you need the broker for that legal provision of having the broker, but you also need the broker for the support that the broker offers, the things that are offered by the office. So we get into more detail on that with that how to choose a broker course, but ultimately that's probably going to be where it is that you find yourself. So let's say that you're at this 80% here, and you get let's say about a $10,000 commission. So let's say you get a $10,000 commission, and that's the total commission. Well, 80% of that is going to give us $8,000. So that would be an $8,000 actually coming to you as an independent contractor. Now, like I said, you're not taxed on this as an independent contractor. You're responsible for your own taxes as an independent contractor. So you get that $8,000 in, and you don't have to pay taxes right then and there on it. You will have to pay taxes, though, by the tax due date of the following year when you get your 1099 form. Now, let's talk a little bit about, and before we do that, let me just check, see if we do have a question coming in here from Logan. How much money can be made? So let's talk about where we get this $10,000 from. So where do we get this $10,000? What type of property do we have to sell to get a $10,000 commission coming into our brokerage? And in our actual real estate licensing courses, if you guys haven't taken those yet, you'll actually learn calculating commission in very rich detail, because not only is it something important to know, it's also information you'll want to know for your exam. But let's say for a $10,000 commission, how much does the house have to be worth in order to get a $10,000 commission that's going to be split between you and your broker? Your broker gets $2,000, you get $8,000. So do we have to sell $1 million house to get that? Let's find out. So what we could do is work this math backwards. So in order to get this $10,000, typically to calculate out commission, what you're doing is taking the sale price. You're then multiplying it by the commission percentage. So sale price times commission percentage gives you your commission dollar amount, which what we just figured there was the $10,000 up here. That was the $10,000. That was the total commission for our brokerage that would be coming in. So when we want to solve this basically working backwards, we have this dollar amount. We want to figure out how do we get to the sale price here. We're not going to multiply. We're instead going to divide. What we're doing here, it's called flip it and reverse it. We're flipping the signs, and instead of multiplying, we're dividing it and we're reversing the direction. So ultimately what the formula looks like is your commission dollar amount divided by your commission percentage, and that's going to give you your sale price of the property. So with this situation we've got here, we've got the $10,000 commission that came into our brokerage. So on to get a $10,000 commission, and let's say the commission that's being charged here is 3%. Now, this would usually represent half of the commission, where the total commission is split between the buyer's broker and the seller's broker. So really, if this is done all in the same brokerage, if you list and sell the property, if you double end the commission, if you get both sides, if you're listing and selling the property, it's not going to be 3%. It would typically be double that, where you'd have 6% or whatever the fees are that you negotiate with your particular client. But basically dividing this out here, where we do some quick math on this, the $10,000 that we have in commission divided by 3%, we'd have for this, and we're going to end up with a really ugly number here, $333,000. And $333.33 and whatnot. So basically, you're selling a house for a little over $300,000. If you're just representing the buyer or only representing the seller, you'd probably have maybe a 3%, maybe a 4%, maybe a 2%. It depends on what it is that you have negotiated with the particular client or with the seller in this here. But in order to get that $10,000 commission coming in, house a little over $300,000, which that's not a stretch by any means. I saw a billboard going down 275. There's this new condo tower going up on Bayshore. It's a beautiful building. I think it's called the Mirage or the Virage or something. I can't read the squiggly writing it is that they use. But in the print below the bottom, typically you'll see something like that. It'll say new units starting from 200,000 or 300,000 or the low thousands or the high 100,000s or something like that. No, it says units start at $1 million. So, and that's a whole tower. You can't get into that tower for less than $1 million. Now, that is Bayshore Boulevard, which is one of the more exclusive, more higher priced, higher value, more luxury type of markets we have in Tampa. But this, I would say, I don't have the exact statistics in front of me, but I know it's going to be in this range of about $300,000 is where an average price home would actually sell at. So an average price home in the Tampa Bay area at a 3% commission, and that typically means, again, that you're just representing either the buyer or the seller, that'd be a $10,000 commission. But now let's say you represented the buyer and the seller. This wouldn't be 3%, that'd be 6% that you'd be earning there. So really, it would be $20,000 in commission it is that you have coming in. So a $20,000 commission. And now again, if 80% of that is what you get to keep, that means 20% of it goes towards the broker. 10% of that is going to be $2,000. 20% of that would be $4,000. So $4,000 would go to the broker, and that would leave $16,000 going towards the agent, because you're basically doubling that 8,000 there. So that's basically how much money you would make on selling a house that's around $300,000, given this math here. Again, this depends on what fees it is and what commission it is that you negotiate with your clients, but that would, I would say, be a typical transaction. That's about an average price. That's usually what you would probably see around that area, maybe give or take a percent, but that's going to be typical. And I mean, $16,000, let's just say if you did one of these a month, you did one of these $16,000 houses a month, which that's a productive agent. I don't want to confuse anyone here and let you think that this is automatically, you have a real estate license and you'll automatically be doing that. No, this is when you're being very productive in this here. But let's say you are getting that $16,000 closing every single month. That's $192,000 a year. So the income and the question of how much money can be made, that's not the limit by any means. That's just doing this math off of this year. It really just depends on how much work it is that you're putting it in, how productive it is that you're being with what it is that you're doing. How many clients is it that you're bringing in? How many clients are you converting into actual contracts, and how many of those contracts are actually closing? So with this, it definitely varies, because selling one of these $300,000 houses a month, that's definitely absolutely doable. And for an average agent, that would definitely be possible. Will they double end every single one of those houses? Probably not. The typical would probably be that they'd only get one side of that. So maybe about half of that $192,000, maybe about the $100,000 mark is where you'd maybe see for when you're doing a good amount of activity for being constant with that. But it's all about how much money it is that you put into this here, or not how much money, but almost how much time. Time and money, they're very synonymous with each other, so that's why I sometimes mix those up there. But really, how much money and how much time you're putting this. You don't have money to put into it, you put your time into it. You will need some money to start up with this, to get the course, to get your license, to get all the tools it is that you need. But if you want to take your business to the next level, you could either put time into it and really put a lot of time in it, or invest money into it. And it's usually a combination of the two. It's really not going to just be one alone. But there's a lot of potential here. And again, since it's like you're running a business within a business of the actual brokerage here, there's really a lot. You could bring in additional agents, and yes, you won't be getting all of the commission yourself here. Maybe you're splitting off this 80% here, and you're maybe cutting in somebody at half of that. But if you're able to triple your closings that you have, and you're giving up half of the commission it is, you'd end up ahead on that one, even though you're not getting all of the actual commission money. So there's a lot of ways to structure it, and really the sky is the limit. That's what we tell people when they ask, well, how much money can you make? Really, there's no limit on how much money you can make. Aside from selling every single house that's for sale in the state of Florida, buying and selling it, that would probably be your limit, or even going out there and trying to get listings that aren't listed, people that don't want to sell, and convincing them to sell. That would be the limit, but we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars at that point with that there. So really there's no limit. There's no imposed limit on here. There's no caps that you could have with this. Again, this is about choosing the right broker as well, to make sure you're in an environment to set yourself up for success based on what it is that you need and how it is that you're looking to structure your business here. But really there's no caps built into this here. It's really based on your productivity, which it can have great potential with this. And there's also the side of, okay, well, what if I'm not having a closing every single month? You're going to want to get closings. It doesn't have to be every single month. Maybe you're just And if you're just trying to go into this part-time, that's going to be where you're not going to get that right off the bat. That's something you build up to, where you're really putting in a lot of work with this here. But going back to the single $8,000 check that you get here, I mean, if you're doing this part-time, I mean, there's not many part-time gigs that you could do where you could get an $8,000 check in the matter of a couple of months once you go through and actually find a buyer, procure a sale of a transaction. So that $8,000 is absolutely possible based off of the averages that we have here. So the income, it's really a big question here, because it really comes down to how much it is that you're going to put into that. And with this, it's really not a matter of if you'll make any money. It's more of a matter of when you'll make money. It might take longer for some people based on how much time it is that they're putting into this here, but you stick with it long enough, you're going to have some income at some point. The longer you go into this, unless you've just given up on this, and that's basically when you've quit. Even if you do still have your real estate license, but you're not putting any work towards that, then that's not going to get you anywhere. But as long as you're continuing to put the actual work in, you're going to have some obstacles and some hurdles to overcome in the beginning, but the potential is absolutely there. And once you get one of these sales under your belt, it just keeps getting that much easier. Every time you close another transaction, you understand better what the process looks like and how you could automate and replicate that process as much as possible to scale this out into a larger and larger and larger business. If you really are going to try to strive to be at the top of this, or maybe like I said, you're just trying to do this a little bit part-time, you love your job that you're in, but you want some extra money. I mean, if you could get $8,000 extra twice a year, it's probably going to be easier through a real estate license than actually going through and trying to get a $16,000 raise with the company it is that you're with. So it's got a lot of great potential with it. It's a great way to meet a lot of new people, and it's a really fun and friendly environment for the most part in the real estate industry. We're going to take another quick commercial break. Again, if you guys have questions on any of this stuff that we're going through here, we're going to talk about some of the other benefits of a career in real estate, not just the income stuff here, but what are some of the other things that you want to expect with this, and what are the other benefits to either starting something like this part-time or full-time. But again, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Put your comments in the questions in the chat, and we'll be right back. Have you been thinking about starting a career in real estate? Enjoy an entrepreneurial lifestyle that allows for schedule flexibility with unlimited income potential. In real estate, the sky is the limit, and what you put in is what you get out. Learn more about a career in real estate at tampaschool.com. Do you wish you could make your own schedule? A career in real estate allows for unimaginable schedule flexibility. Whether you're just looking to make some extra cash in your spare time or become the next top real estate agent, a career in real estate allows you to call the shots. Find out more about a career in real estate at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com. Does your current career allow for unlimited income potential? With a career in real estate, the sky is the limit. What you put in is what you get out. Find out more about how you can tap into the unlimited income potential of a career in real estate at tampaschool.com. Hey, if you liked the show today, be sure to hit like and subscribe and post your comments. Thanks so much for watching.
You are watching
Ask the Instructor. Every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. I'm John Chrismo, and every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time, we come to you to help you understand the real estate industry. And today we're understanding the entrance into the real estate industry, what it's like to start a career in real estate. We already really talked about the income potential, which that's really the first thing most people think about, especially when they're spending money just even to take the course to get their real estate license. You're essentially making an investment into a career in real estate by doing that, and you're usually going to be wondering, okay, what's my return on investment? What does that look like? And the way we broke this down here is how you could get a single commission off of a single property, and based on certain numbers, how you could actually come up with how much money you would actually make for any given year. Now, if you're trying to understand this a little bit further, make sure you check out our Success Center after the show. Write down this link. It's tampaschool.com. tampaschool.com/, success. And that's two S's at the end and then two C's at the end. SUCCESS, I believe. Put it in there and you'll find out. Or you can just go on the page on tampaschool.com and click to it there. So if you go onto that Success Center, just go into the search and type in business plan. If you search on the business plan, you're going to find a calculator that we built out that basically takes into account all this stuff for calculating out commissions. So what you do is you plug in the numbers of how much income it is that you want to make, and it's going to tell you, and you plug in what the average price of the home it is that you're going to be selling and what commission it is you're going to be selling. But you just supply the numbers, and what's cool about this is you could play with these numbers, you could push them up, push them down to understand how it kind of ebbs and flows, to get an idea of how many houses you need to sell at this certain dollar price at this percent of commission in order to get this amount of income across the year. And we even go so far, even further, to break this down to how many contracts, to how many appointments, to how many leads, to how many contacts, to how many people you need to be talking to every single day to reach that income goal. Because understanding the math that it takes to get to that commission goal it is that you have, for that income goal that you have, that's an absolute must to figure out what that gross commission is going to look like if you do these certain amounts of activity. So if you, again, write down that link, it's tampaschool.com/success, tampaschool.com/success. You'll want to look for the business plan calculator. So that's the income aspect of that, which that's probably the biggest kind of wonderment of this year, because aside from the fun part of working in real estate and some of these other benefits we're going to be talking about here, it doesn't matter really how much fun you're having doing what you're doing. If you can't pay the bills, that's probably not going to work for you. So that's really definitely a must to understand. And really with that, the income, the sky's the limit. It just comes down to how much work it is that you're putting into that, how much money it is that you're putting into that, the time and the money. Both of those things are multiplying your probability of success in the real estate industry. So next one we've got here is being rewarded for your efforts. So with a career in real estate, I mean, how many times, if you guys have worked in some sort of corporate environment, some sort of job, some sort of, even maybe of a small business where you're going 110%, 120% of the time, so you're giving it your all plus then some every single minute of every single hour of every single day, just for your efforts to go unrecognized. And with the whole concept of being your own boss like you are in real estate, since you're a business within a business down the traditional real estate path it is that we're talking about here. When you're a business within a business, you're the boss. So you'll look at yourself and say, oh yeah, you're working really hard today. And you can give yourself those comments. You have permission to give yourself the positive influences and whatnot that you have to say, oh yeah, you're doing a good job today. Keep making those phone calls. Keep meeting with those clients. Keep going out, passing out flyers or whatever it is that you're doing to grow your real estate business. But you're getting recognized for your efforts. And not only are you getting recognition for that, but you're also, when you're doing more efforts to increase your income, and increase your income and increase your business and increase all these different factors, when you put more effort into that, those things will increase. And this isn't going to be, and I've yet to find a broker, so that maybe there is a broker out there that can structure their business this way, but usually the more business you have, the less money the broker takes. A lot of brokers will have it set up where if you sell X amount of commission, you'll be able to get a higher split. And even if they don't have that pre-negotiated out with you, that's something you can negotiate. When you're a top producer, you're a top performer, you could get a higher split. So instead of getting maybe 80%, you get 90%. Or maybe you decide, I just want to switch to 100% broker now because I know what I'm doing or whatever that may be. And now you're able to kind of negotiate this higher amount of money. But even with the commission split staying the same, let's say you always stayed at that 80%, the more houses you sell, the more commission it is that you earn, that money goes to you. The broker doesn't start taking more out of this. Now the government, they'll take more out of your income the more money it is that you make. There's no way getting around that. They have that kind of situation where they're saying, okay, you're making more money, we're going to charge you more taxes now. So you'll have that to kind of fight against. But it's always going to work out better for you. Yeah, you got to give more money to the government, but you're still making more money. And getting yourself a good accountant that really knows the tax code in and out and structuring a business in the correct way to make sure you're declaring the deductions and maximizing those deductions. Because as an independent contractor, being a business within a business, now if you structure your business as a business and the way that I would typically say, and again, you always want, my disclaimer here, always double check with your accountant on this, but let's say you're structuring yourself as an S corporation, which is the typical, either that or an LLC that's taxed as an S corporation is the go-to for most agents. And now this isn't something you need to worry about when you first get your real estate license, but when you're starting to make money and you want to minimize the taxes it is that you're being charged on that money, that's where you definitely want to look into these things and get yourself a good accountant to get everything working accordingly here. I mean, it depends on the type of person you are. Some people like to put the cart before the horse, but I say, hey, get that horse running, get that horse producing some income, then you worry about optimizing the cart and making the cart lighter and faster and making the government take less money from that cart. So when you're an independent contractor, again, let's say you're taxed as an S corporation, you're going to learn this word called expense. And usually for investors, expenses are a bad thing. You don't want expenses because that means you're paying money out. But with real estate, you're going to have some expenses. And what might some of those expenses be? Well, that might be your car. When your car is driving to show properties, to drive to show a client a house, and you're driving to that's going to be mileage. And depending on your structure, and again, double check with your accountant with this, you might be able to even deduct the entire value of a lease of a vehicle or something of that nature. So that's going to be an expenditure that you could use to offset your income, and you really need a car either way. So you can kind of see some of the loopholes that are available in the tax system when you're structured as a business. So this expense thing is definitely huge. These fees it is that you're having to pay for a lot of different things, a lot of those can be deducted. A lot of these ordinary and necessary business expenses, that's usually the wording that they use to declare it's an expense. It's ordinary and necessary. Again, talk to your accountant for this on the details, but those could all be expensed where you're able to really kind of offset your income and maybe get yourself into a lower tax bracket or anything like that to, again, minimize the taxes. So that's definitely something you want to keep in mind, again, going back to the income aspect of this. So one of the other big reasons why a lot of people will start a career in real estate, maybe money isn't the number one thing. Money is definitely an idea or a topic that they think about when they're starting a career in real estate, and I'm sure if you're thinking about a career in real estate, you've wondered about that as well, and hopefully we've helped clear that up a little bit. I know it's still a lot of mystification, so check out that business plan at tampaschool.com/success. But the other primary reason I see, probably more than anything, in addition to the income aspect of this and being unsatisfied with the income that they're earning and feeling like they're capped out and they've got that ceiling above their heads where they can't break through, where they're earning as much money as they could in their particular role with their particular education or whatever it may be. So the scheduling. So scheduling is another huge benefit of a career in real estate, because with a career in real estate, you're not necessarily tied to a 9 to 5 or something like this. Now, there are pros and cons to this as well, because you're expected to work outside of certain business hours, but maybe you're not a morning person and you like to sleep in. That a career in real estate could still be great for you, because you're probably not going to be out showing properties in the morning. And it all comes down to making sure you're structured, because you're in control of the situation here. So it doesn't matter when you do the work, for the most part. It matters that you do the work. Now, you're going to be kind of tied to your client's schedule for setting up some sort of appointment or showing to show a property or something like that. But again, a lot of this stuff is very flexible. You're not required to be at a certain time at a certain place. And we've had so many people that have came to us not about the money that they want to get in the career in real estate. Yeah, that's nice and that's necessary and that's essential, but the primary driver of why they want to get into a career in real estate is the scheduling aspect of this. Maybe they have kids and they're not getting enough time with their kids and they want to spend more time with their kids. They could go into their office or go out and to their home office. You could work from home with a career in real estate, making phone calls from your home office or anything it may be. That there's so much flexibility in how it is that you structure this and engineer this. You have a lot of potential. So got another question in there. What software are you guys using for live stream? I'll have to ask my video tech on that one, what we're using here for the streaming on this. But glad you're enjoying the stream. So going back to the scheduling aspect of this here, like I said, you're going to have to work. And that's maybe one of the misconceptions that you'll see with starting a career in real estate is, oh, I can just get my real estate license and I don't have to work, right? No, you do still have to work. You might be able to work more effectively and more efficiently than you would in some other types of position, but there still is going to be work involved. And the more work it is that you put into this here, because you could absolutely, let's go back to the part-time question, because that's a big question that we get a lot. Can you work in real estate part-time? Do you have to go into real estate full-time and go jump right in? Will brokers work with you as a part-time agent? And the answer is yes, absolutely. You could absolutely start part-time. As a matter of fact, probably most of the people that I've worked with starting a career in real estate have started their career part-time. And that's usually my recommendation as well, rather than jumping fully into this. Now, we do have some people that I've worked with that have jumped into this full-time, just completely all in, and they've done well in as well. But the reason why I'd recommend starting this something part-time, so you're able to kind of get a feel for this here. You're not going in and giving yourself a deadline. Okay, if I'm not making any money in 2 months, I'm out of this, I'm done. So starting in this part-time, this gives you ability. It's rather than kind of jumping in the pool and then hoping you don't drown. It's kind of like you're getting your feet wet and you're getting used to. You're climbing down the steps into the pool, maybe learning how to paddle your arms a little bit as you're actually walking in. There's arguments as well for getting into this completely full-time and going 100% into this, but I usually say, hey, look, if you're thinking about it, I would say maybe start part-time, keep what it is that you're doing right now, and try to schedule it. And sometimes this isn't possible with the type of jobs that you may have, and you may find this out down the road, and that's when you ask yourself the question, okay, do I want to stick with what I'm doing, or do I want to try to adjust this so I could focus more on the real estate side of this here? But ultimately, the big thing that you're going to have the biggest problem with, where you don't have much control, is scheduling around your clients. So aside from scheduling around your clients, and if your client is working, and most people, let's say, they usually do work some sort of 9 to 5, or let's say about 8 to 6 type of job, and that's usually during this time, Monday through Friday. That's typically going to be your off limits time, where you're usually not going to be able to work with most clients during that time. Now, if they're out of town, if they're here visiting, maybe they'll do something during that time, but that time's usually not going to be when you're going out to show a house. So typically, your house showings are going to be Monday through Friday, anywhere from about 6 to maybe 9 p.m., or Saturday and Sunday, and that's pretty much any time, probably as early as 9 to maybe as late as probably 9 p.m. You might be outside of these hours. This is just typically based on most people's schedule. This is when you'd be actually showing property. So if you're working yourself during this time here, not only does that give you an audience and a sphere of influence that you could tap into, but that's also the time where most other people aren't available. So if you could focus your time into these times where people want to show properties or see properties, the Saturday and Sunday 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. flexible for how it is that you structure.
Free at MP3 Drive. Listen to the first audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com. Does your current career allow for unlimited income potential? With a career in real estate, the sky is the limit. What you put in is what you get out. Find out more about how you can tap into the unlimited income potential of a career in real estate at tampaschool.com.
Hey, if you liked the show today, be sure to hit like and subscribe and post your comments. Thanks so much for watching.
You are watching
Ask the Instructor. Every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time. John Chrismo, or you're watching Ask the Instructor. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. Every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time, we come to you live to help you understand the real estate industry. And what we're talking about today is going to be what it's like to have a career in real estate. We talked about basically how the income and the pay works. We talked about how the scheduling works, how it's basically you. It's not your broker that tells you have to be at a certain time in a certain place. It's you that says you have to be at a certain time or at a certain place, or maybe one of your clients that's bossing you around telling you have to be at a certain time at a certain place. But usually you're the one that's making the rules regarding your scheduling and when it is that you're able to work. So it's absolutely possible to get into real estate part-time, and in addition to when you're maybe adding something or supplementing something to your current job, or maybe you already have a business. Real estate is a career full of entrepreneurs, an industry full of entrepreneurs that have a side hustles, side businesses, whatever it is that you want to call it, in addition to their real estate gig they've got going on. So just got a couple more things I want to touch on with this here. So let's talk about the career diversity aspect of this here. So real estate, with a real estate license, you have so many options of what it is that you're going to do. And for the most part, you're not tied down to any one. Now, there are going to be some exceptions to this rule, but for the most part, you can enter into any one of these different industries at any time, and you can be with a broker that allows you to do multiple of these at any time. So let's just talk about the sales specialties. And really, this could be, let's just focus on the sales side of this, because this is really the primary driver of revenue in the real estate industry. So in the sales aspect of this here, you could have anything from residential. And residential, this is the most common and the most used vehicle in the real estate industry, for lack of a better term. So residential, and this is going to be your single family homes, it typically depends on the definition, but anytime you're dealing with 4 or fewer units, so duplexes, things like that. But when you're dealing with larger properties that are maybe going to be an apartment complex or a retail plaza or an office building, that's called commercial property. And there's no extra special license that you need for commercial. Yes, this will require different information than a residential career in real estate would require, so you'll need to know more things about the commercial side of things if you want to work in commercial. But with most brokerages, they're called what's called a full service brokerage, and that'll allow you to work in pretty much any of these specialties here. And if you do want to work in a particular one, just ask your broker and they'll make sure that you're able to work with that. But your real estate license doesn't put any limits on any of these. So you can work in residential, selling single family homes. You can work in commercial, selling office buildings, selling apartment complexes, selling retail plazas. You could work in industrial. So the industrial is a lot fewer and far between. Industrial properties, these are going to be your plants, your mills, your facilities, these like the Amazon distribution facilities, any of these kind of warehouse type of properties, that's going to fall into your industrial type of property. You could also get into agricultural. So agricultural properties, this is going to be your farmland. So, and I know an agent that actually got his start. He actually used to be a jockey, and the guy that rides the horses and whatnot. And he knew everything about horses because that was his thing that he did. But I think maybe he got injured or something where he couldn't do that anymore. So he got his real estate license, and he started off specializing in horse farms. Because when you're selling a residential property, think about what residential people are looking for. Residential sales, these are people that are looking for a nice home to live in. They're concerned about the neighborhood it's in, the school district it's in, and all these different things about them living there. The commercial realm, this is dealing with, okay, I want to make a return on investment. Is this the best place to have this apartment building? Is this the best place to have this retail plaza based on the people that could live in the area? Or the best place to have office based on the increase or decrease in jobs in the area? So it's different criteria you'd look at with a commercial property. In an industrial property, the Amazon fulfillment centers, their primary objective is to be close to people. I can't go back to waiting more than a day to get a package now that we have the same day delivery with Amazon here in Tampa. It's crazy, but the reason why they're able to do that is of strategically positioned industrial centers. So, and depending on the industry, that could change greatly. Maybe they just need to be close to water, or maybe it's going to be one of these phosphate mine type of things. So it all is based on what the objective is of that particular industry. The agricultural side of things, going back to that agent that started off specializing in horse farms. And you might say, well, how many horse farms get bought and sold? A lot fewer than residential, but now how many agents understand the ins and outs of horses and what a good horse farm or horse ranch or whatever it is that you would call them? I'm not even sure. You could tell. I would probably go in there and say, hey, I want to sell your horse farm, and they'd say, okay, thanks, and they'd show me on my way because I call it a farm instead of a ranch. So you got to see how there's specialized information for each one of these. But what's great is your real estate license. Realize I forgot the T there. Your real estate license is going to allow you to specialize in any one of these. And also, this is another big one, businesses. So businesses are another type of entity that you could sell, and a business is different than commercial. A commercial property, this is maybe the retail plaza that's being sold, whereas a business is going to be the particular business, the restaurant or whatever it is within that retail plaza. And yes, you do need a real estate license in Florida for a business because under Florida law, businesses are viewed as a type of real estate. So your real estate license gives you all of these as well as the ability for special purpose properties. And the special purpose properties, these are properties built for a special purpose that really don't fall into exactly one of these types of categories here. So maybe something like an airport or a hospital, that's a very special purpose type of property. So you can kind of try to classify that as one of these, but really what it comes down to, anything with land under it, you're able to sell in Florida with a real estate license. And your broker, if it's a full service brokerage, will typically, as most brokerages are a full service brokerage, will allow you to work with any one of these types of entities. Now, there are particular brokers that specialize in, let's say, the commercial side of this or the industrial side or agricultural or businesses, or just specialize in residential, and maybe that's all they do. And if that's all you want to do, that'd be a great place to go. But you can see how there's a lot of diversity here. But in addition to that, so these are just your sales specialties. This could also be something that you're leasing out, or, maybe also property management. So property management, if you're doing this and you're getting paid any sort of commission or anything like that, you need to have a real estate license. You need to be employed and registered with a real estate broker in order to do property management services, to be paid based off of, let's say you're getting paid 10% of the rent or whatever it comes down to that you have negotiated out. So that's another way to get into this. And this is a way you can kind of adapt to the real estate industry when there's changes in the marketplace, when maybe there's less people owning property and more people renting. That's where it makes sense more, because there's still people owning. It's just investors that own the property, maybe more commercial properties and things like that, or even just single-family homes that investors own. So they need property managers to manage the property and basically be the ones that are not the ones that are going there to unclog the toilet, but the people that are going there to find tenants and then call up the plumbers when the toilets get clogged or something along those lines. So property management is another diversity of the real estate industry. You could also maybe work under a developer. This is what we talked about at the beginning of the show. So the developers, these are typically going to be your home builders. So home builders, the Lennar Homes, William Ryan Homes, all these different companies, D.R. Horton, that are out there that are building homes. Those homes don't sell themselves. As nice as they may build these homes, it's going to need a salesperson in charge for doing that, and they want commission salespeople that have a real estate license, because they can only pay them a commission if there is a real estate license. If there's no real estate license involved, you could sometimes get jobs here just working for an hourly salary or something like that, but when you want a commission, that's where you need to have a real estate license. So that's another industry you could get in. And even over here on the sales side, if you're working under a broker, you could still sell new homes. You could still sell new homes working under a broker, because that broker is just another seller. So there's so much diversity with a career in real estate. You could choose to work with investors. You could be people that are interested in any one of these here. You could work with people looking to buy a home for themselves. You could be looking for people who are looking to, almost like an investor, but maybe they're starting a business and they need to lease out a space or purchase a piece of land or purchase a building for them to operate their business in. So there's so much diversity with a career in real estate. It could be the types of sales it is that you're going into. Everybody needs some sort of real estate, even if it's just real estate that they need to live in, to have over their heads, and that's probably the biggest demand for real estate it is, whether they're buying that or they're renting that. There's way to earn a living in real estate and really prosper if you do it effectively in all these different types of realms. So we could go on all day talking about all the different ways there are to operate a real estate business across all of these different realms here. And there's just so much more we could even talk about in addition that's on the board right now. But I hope that helped you guys out understanding a little bit about what to expect with a career in real estate. If you just feel overwhelmed right now, that's okay. It definitely is overwhelming. There's a lot of information we've covered just today alone. Check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success. You'll see all kinds of articles. You'll see all the past videos we have of these Ask the Instructor episodes, as well as our State of Real Estate show we do on Fridays. And if you're thinking about starting a career in real estate, go take the course. Whether you start a career in real estate or not, so let's say you go through the course and you decide, hey, that's not for me, you're going to be better off either way, because when you go to buy a house yourself, or even if you're just leasing a property, you'll understand the process better and you'll be able to get yourself a better deal. And for less than $300, you could get enrolled in either the classroom or the online course. So it's going to have immense return on investment, absolutely, if you start a career in real estate. But even if you're just taking this for your general knowledge, you're still going to save $300 along the line somewhere, whether it's you're buying a house or leasing a house or getting something for your business or investing in real estate. So I absolutely recommend checking it out. Go to tampaschool.com. We've got a bunch of exam prep tools to help you pass your exams on the first try. That's passfirsttry.com, passfirsttry.com. Check out tampaschool.com, or, if you'd rather just talk to a person, we're here to help you out. Give us a call at 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. That's all I've got for you guys today. If you're watching the recording after the fact, be sure to put in comments still, because we'll still try to respond to those and put in replies to all those comments after the fact. Or if you have a question you'd like us to answer on next week's show, next Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time, put that in as well. But for now, that's all I've got for you. I'll see you guys next week.
Have you been thinking about starting a career in real estate? Enjoy an entrepreneurial lifestyle that allows for schedule flexibility with unlimited income potential. In real estate, the sky is the limit, and what you put in is what you get out. Learn more about a career in real estate at tampaschool.com. Do you wish you could make your own schedule? A career in real estate allows for unimaginable schedule flexibility. Whether you're just looking to make some extra cash in your spare time or become the next top real estate agent, a career in real estate allows you to call the shots. Find out more about a career in real estate at tampaschool.com.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Does your current career allow for unlimited income potential? With a career in real estate, the sky is the limit. What you put in is what you get out. Find out more about how you can tap into the unlimited income potential of a career in real estate at tampaschool.com.
Hey, if you liked the show today, be sure to hit like and subscribe and post your comments. Thanks so much for watching.
You are watching
Ask the Instructor. Every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor.